Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The first thing that broke me wasn't the laughter. It was the text that came 5 minutes before it. Don't come early. Please. No heart emoji. No explanation. Just that. I was already parked outside the restaurant, engine idling, watching couples drift in through the glass doors. Hands brushing, shoulders leaning together. I stared at my phone like it might blink and fix itself. For 12 years, don't come early had never been a sentence between us. We were the early ones. The planners. The people who showed up first and left together. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe she was planning a surprise. Maybe I was reading into it because work had been hell lately and I was tired. I waited the 5 minutes anyway, palms damp on the steering wheel, a quiet unease tapping behind my ribs. Inside, the table was already full. Friends. Her coworkers. 2 couples we saw maybe once a year. And him, Mark. The new guy from her office. The one whose name had started appearing in stories a little too often. Mark said this. Mark thinks that. I'd noticed, filed it away, told myself not to be that husband. She looked up when she saw me, smiled too quickly, then glanced at Mark before standing. Hey, she said, brushing my cheek instead of kissing me. That was new. We sat. Wine glasses clinked. Conversation flowed around me like a river I was standing too close to. I laughed at the right places, nodded when someone asked about work. But I kept catching it. The way her knee angled away from mine and toward his. The way she laughed harder at his jokes. The way her phone stayed face down beside her plate. Then the jokes started turning. Someone mentioned a story from college, something stupid I'd done. Harmless. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Then Mark leaned back, smirking, and said, Guess some people never outgrow being safe. The table chuckled. My wife laughed. Not a nervous laugh. A real one. I felt it then, that warm, hollow drop in my chest, like missing a step in the dark. Safe how? I asked lightly. He shrugged. You know. Predictable. Comfortable. The kind you marry because it makes sense. More laughter. Someone said, Oof. Someone else raised their glass. I looked at her. She didn't look back. That's when I laughed. Surprised even me. A soft, easy sound that made heads turn. I reached for my wine, took a sip, then set the glass down carefully. My heart was pounding, but my voice came out calm. You're right, I said. I am safe. The table leaned in, expecting self-deprecation. An apology. A joke. I trusted my wife completely, I continued. So safe, in fact, that when she started hiding her phone, missing my calls, staying late with you. I nodded at Mark. I convinced myself I was imagining it. Silence spread like spilled ink. Her face drained of color. What are you doing? She whispered. I pulled out my phone. My hands weren't shaking anymore. 3 weeks ago, I said. You left your iPad at home. It synced. I didn't go looking. A message popped up. I paused, swallowed. You told him you loved how alive he made you feel. You told him you wished you'd met him first. Someone pushed their chair back. A fork clinked against a plate. She reached for my arm. I stood. I didn't come early tonight because you asked me not to, I said, voice steady. You said you needed time. What you meant was, you needed time to make me small in front of people so you wouldn't feel so guilty. Mark opened his mouth. I held up a hand. This isn't about you, I said. It's about me finally listening to my gut. I turned to her. For a moment, memories rushed in, late-night drives, her head on my shoulder, the way she cried when my father died. 12 years doesn't vanish just because the truth shows up. I loved you, I said quietly. But I won't beg for someone who laughs when I'm insulted. No one laughed now. I placed my napkin on the table. Dinner's on me, I added. Consider it safe. I walked out before she could say my name. The days after were a blur of boxes and silence. She cried. I listened. She said it wasn't physical yet. I believed her and hated that I still did. She said she felt invisible. I wondered when she decided I was the reason. Leaving wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Painfully quiet. Now, months later, I think about that table sometimes. The laughter. The moment I chose myself instead of shrinking. I'm still safe. Just no longer invisible.